Hey, what is up everyone? My name is Cole Kagmus and welcome to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be showing you guys my 2021 productivity desk setup. This is a video that I've wanted to make for a very long time now, as I've been creating content over on Instagram for about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years now, and this setup has been a very big part of what I share. I've been documenting my journey just upgrading this desk to really what is my dream setup. This workspace has enabled me to better my workflow. It's made me more productive when I'm coding or when I'm editing my Instagram photos or even when I'm writing the script to this video. I think that having a good setup is essential to being successful in your work, whether that's content creation, programming like myself, maybe do freelancing. No matter what you do, just having a spot where you can sit down, get in your zone, and really just focus on your work, I think is so important and so valuable. And that really is why I'm making this video. I want to be able to, share my content and maybe give you guys some inspiration. With all that said, let's get right into it. So starting off the desk itself, I'm using an IKEA Linman tabletop with 2 Alex drawers underneath. And then the Linman tabletop is actually being held up by 8 furniture risers. I have 4 in each. I got them off Amazon. They're really cheap, really inexpensive. And basically they give it some added height while also making it look really just aesthetically pleasing. Underneath the desk, I'm using an IKEA Signum cable management tray to just keep all my cables organized and neat. And then on the back, I'm using, I believe it's Govee. Sorry if I completely butchered that. RGB LED strip. It gives some really awesome aesthetics to my build and really just tops it off, to be honest. So far, the desk has pretty much worked perfectly other than the Linman tabletop. That is because it's essentially like hollow on the middle. It has this particle board honeycomb design. What this means is that you unfortunately just cannot put much weight on it because it is just so cheaply made. It only cost me about $30, so I'm not that disappointed in it. So this is definitely something that if you're looking at this kind of setup, look for maybe a more solid wood type countertop, tabletop, because that will function a lot better. It really sucks in my case because I would have loved to put the monitor back there onto a VESA mount so that it was against the wall. It would look like it's floating essentially instead of just sitting on the included stand. But it's not a deal breaker for the price. It's really not that big of a deal. So the Alex drawers have actually been a really awesome way for me to keep productive. It makes it just really easy to organize all the tools that I need on a day-to-day basis. So the Signum cable management tray is something that I'm really, really happy with. Before it was pretty scary. I had cables just dangling down all the sides, all under the desk. And so you couldn't even look under there without just vomiting. It was really bad, but I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with the cable management tray. It was super easy to set up. You just basically lay all the cables in it, align them in, and you're pretty much good to go. You just have to drill into the bottom of the tabletop, which isn't really that difficult. So powering the setup is a 2017 13-inch MacBook Pro. It is the non-touch bar model, has a dual core processor and 8 GB of RAM, so it's pretty outdated in terms of specs, but luckily for my workflow, I'm coding on there, just doing very simple tasks on my MacBook Pro, it works completely fine. And so then I have the MacBook sitting on this vertical 12-cell book arc stand, basically just frees up a bunch of space and also just lets me, show off my MacBook, and it looks really, really good. So alongside the MacBook Pro, I'm using a custom PC build to essentially just do the more power-hungry tasks like gaming or editing a video like this one. So for the build, it's powered by an Intel i7 9700K CPU, and then the GeForce RTX 2070 Super. So this card is insane. I'm able to get pretty good FPS in literally any game that I can play. I can play in ultra settings. It's awesome. And then this processor right here is pretty decent for video editing, I'd say, but I'm definitely looking for maybe the new AMD 5000 series, but those are insanely hard to get, so not sure if that's gonna be anytime soon. Both of the PC and MacBook are connected to this beast of a monitor back here. It is a LG 34WK95C-W. It's a mouthful, but trust me, it's a really, really good monitor. It's 34 inches with a 3440 by 1440 pixel resolution. Has a 75 Hz IPS panel, which means it has really, really good colors that I'm very impressed with. And also my favorite feature is the USB-C port on the back. So this allows me to connect my MacBook Pro with one single cable, providing it with power and display. I've had zero issues in terms of keeping the MacBook powered while using it, but I haven't done anything crazy. I don't do editing on my MacBook, so I'm not straining it that much. I really believe that this is probably the #1 product in my entire setup that has just made me more productive all around. I'm able to have so much more screen real estate to basically have multiple windows open, allowing me to just take care of multiple things at once. It's also really awesome for like things like video editing, full screen applications like that. You know, just being able to look over the timeline, have all that space, it's awesome. Now, gaming on an Ultrawide monitor is probably one of the best experiences you're gonna have. It's extremely immersive and the game just looks super awesome. However, the panel is only 75 Hertz, meaning that you cannot display any FPS value above 75. I don't think this matters as much for single player games because you can kind of still roam the world and enjoy just the looks of it and still have fun, but where you're really gonna notice it is in multiplayer games. Games like that where they're much more fast-paced games, you are going to notice the lower refresh rate, especially if you're coming from a gaming monitor. Like myself, I had an 165 Hertz Asus gaming monitor and I noticed it immediately. But it's really not that bad. You know, I think that what you're giving up to get this monitor, I mean, it's worth it. So in terms of peripherals, I'm using the Keychron K2 mechanical keyboard and the Logitech MX Master 2S mouse. So the Keychron K2 here, it is a mechanical keyboard made for Mac. So it has the Mac media keys, and then also has like the command, the option, the control on the bottom. So really clean, really awesome keyboard. This one has Gatoron brown switches, so they sound really nice. And they also have Gatoron blue and Gatoron red available. So this is a white LED model. There is like RGB models. I'm not like a hater of RGB. I mean, I have like an RGB LED light strip. However, with this keyboard, I don't think it's that good. I think it kind of looks ugly, their RGB. But you know, so I just went with this simple, the white LED, gray design. I think it looks super, super clean. One caveat about this board is it is pretty thick. If you look, it's about an inch and a half with the little feet up. So it's a very thick board. They do sell a wrist rest if you want to use that. I've actually never really had a problem with any wrist strain while using this, but overall, I think it's a great board. If you want to get like a more in-depth review, I actually wrote an article over on Medium. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to go check that out. Wait. This couldn't be a proper showcase of a keyboard without a sound test. What am I thinking? Let's give it a go. So the mouse, this is the Logitech MX Master 2S. I love this mouse. Now, if you've never seen one of these before, you might think, what the hell is this thing? I know, it's weird looking, but trust me, it's really awesome. So it has a very ergonomic design, it has this nice little thumb rest here. It's actually really comfortable to hold. So it definitely has some weight to it. It's a pretty heavy mouse. Fortunately, it is not very good for gaming. I would say if you're in the market for like a wireless mouse, go with maybe like a Razer, like the Razer Viper. I've heard pretty good reviews about that one. So using the downloadable Logitech Options software, you can actually map some of these buttons on here. So you have these two buttons on the side here. And then this button right here, this like thumb rest is actually a button. So I use it to like switch my windows on, Windows and my MacBook. My favorite feature, hands down, has to be the horizontal scrolling. So this little guy right here. Basically, when I'm in like a timeline for editing, I just scroll on that and it scrolls horizontally. And you know, going back to like a real mouse now, it's something that I didn't really realize I use that much, but it's something I really missed using. Like I had a Corsair gaming mouse that did not have this, and I really just missed it. Also, another really good thing about this, it probably has the best battery life in any mouse, any wireless mouse that I know. Logitech says that this lasts for 70 days on a full charge, and I'd say that's pretty accurate. I've really only charged this thing like 3, maybe 4 times, and I've had it for like 2 years. I use this thing daily. Also, this thing charges in legitimately 2 minutes. It's so quick. And then both the keyboard and the mouse are sitting on a Grovemade matte desk pad. This thing is awesome. It's clean, matte black, adds a really awesome aesthetic to my setup. The last like little peripheral item I have is the Amazon Echo Spot. So basically, I use this thing as a digital clock, kind of like an alarm clock, and I think it adds a really awesome aesthetic to the setup. Unfortunately though, Amazon did discontinue it. They kind of replaced it with, it's like the Amazon Echo Show, I think it's called, which it's not anything near the same. It's basically, it's almost the size of this box, and it's just a big screen, and I don't know why they did it. I mean, this thing, it's small, it's circular, it works awesome as a clock, especially on your desk. I don't know what they're doing, man. So for audio in the setup, the speakers I'm using are the Audioengine A2 Pluses. They are wireless Bluetooth speakers. They actually have really, really good sound quality. They're very loud and just give a really clean aesthetic. So they cost $269, which is a little pricey, but honestly, I think for the looks and for the sound of them, they're definitely worth it. The one thing I have to say about them is it's a pain in the ass to pair them. Like when I'm going from my MacBook to my PC, I have to like turn them off, play with the Bluetooth setting, and turn off again because it won't track it. It's really a pain, but going from like my iPhone to my MacBook isn't really a problem. And then they're on top of these small little black DS1 stands also sold by Audioengine. They just add a nice aesthetic and give them a little bit of hype. So for earbuds, I'm using the Apple AirPods Pro. These are a super awesome pair of headphones. They're noise canceling, they have really good sound, and they also have a wireless charging case. And that means that I can basically just pop them on my wireless charger along with my phone and just charge them easily. So noise canceling on these earbuds aren't like amazing. It's not to the quality of like a pair of Bose, Sony's, or even the new AirPods Max, but it is really impressive for this size. I mean, it's just look how small it is. So for a gaming headset, I'm using the Logitech G Pro X. These are honestly my like favorite gaming headphones that I've ever owned. They have a really good microphone. I'd say probably one of the best, if not the best, in a gaming headset. It's like sponsored, made by Blue. It's kind of like, it's like similar to the sound of a Blue Yeti. If you've ever heard one of those, it's a very good mic. I think it's a really clean and minimal design. I like don't even use them that much, but I kind of just like to leave them out to give a little extra aesthetic to my setup. So for my microphone, I use an AT2020 USB Plus. So I use this when I do voiceover stuff, when I'm, making videos on over my computer. This is a USB microphone and it sounds really awesome. Unfortunately though, it does pick up like a ton of background noise. Pretty much anything that happens in your house, it's gonna pick up. So I have the AT2020 on a Rode PSA-1 Studio boom arm. The AT2020 is a pretty light microphone, so just using it with the boom arm is not enough. You need to have some added weight. I picked up just a really cheap shock mount off Amazon and it's worked really well. So the chair that I'm sitting in now is the autonomous ErgoChair 2. As the name suggests, it is an ergonomic office chair. Has a super clean design, an all carbon black color, but there is also some other options available on their website. This thing is highly customizable. You can adjust pretty much everything, anything from the armrest height, the headrest, how much you want to lean back, the lumbar support, the positioning of the chair, honestly the height of the chair. So many different options to make this seat as comfortable as possible. It's really awesome. The seat cushion is pretty comfortable. I'm able to sit into it for pretty much 6 hours without too much discomfort. However, the armrests are pretty mediocre. So it's a pretty budget chair. It costs $369, which seems like a lot of money, but when you look at other ergonomic chairs, they go upwards of $600-$700, sometimes even in the thousands of dollars, something like a Herman Miller. So for the price, you get an awesome, pretty comfortable chair. My only caveat with it is that it took a really long time to get here. I ordered it and it took about a month and a half to actually deliver to my house. Setup was easy though, and I really have no other complaints. So the poster that you see behind me, they're from LinxSupply.com. My guy Oliver here on YouTube made them. Really awesome content. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. They're these awesome minimal prints, 18 by 24 inches, and they're really cheap. They're only like $29.99 off his website, and they look awesome. So the prints are called Orbs 1, 2, and 3. I have the 1 all the way on the left, 2 in the middle, and 3 on the right. I have them in these white 18 by 24 frames I got from Michaels for about like $35. Not too expensive, and overall I think they look really awesome. So guys, this is my desk setup. I'm definitely gonna be upgrading things like my PC build pretty soon, but overall I'm really happy with what I have here. For those of you who have made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, it means a lot, and subscribing to see more of my content in the very near future. With all that said, I'm out. Peace, guys.